Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Eve Echoes. We're here today again on the test server because, well, on the live server our pockets are empty cause with, due to popular demand, well, decided to do the Dominix, which is, at least, will be fairly available compared to the, I stand corrected, I mentioned 4 billion rattlesnake, 9.4 billion rattlesnake. That's how, that's the exact value that rattlesnakes are currently trading, and compared to the rattlesnake, the Dominix is actually a ship of the line. It's not something faction, it's not something that's going to be amazingly high in price. It's going to be your standard tech level 9 battleship. Yeah, that's where the Dominix sits. And the Dominix is one of the, actually the first the first battleship that a drone player will aim towards. Now, in terms of battle cruisers, we have either the Prophecy or the Myrmidon. So us drones players have like a switcheroo in between, depending on what we want, more rep or more resistances. In terms of drone damage, this is the Dominix. And the Dominix is, like stated in the ship description, one of the old war horses dating back to the Gallente War. We talked about this when we did our short introduction into lore. The Dominix is like a staple in terms of drone boats, battleship-sized vessels. Now, before we get into our subject for today, I want to propose a giveaway. So we're going to have a simpler and more easy and more accessible giveaway for players. We've had our the cartographer challenge, which was pretty fun in my opinion, but it actually involved you guys flying around like crazy, like for 1 hour or 2 hours depending on your skills, reaching some systems, and you might have got blobbed or like your ship lost and stuff like that. And that didn't help everyone trying to participate. We did have some winners, we did have some people participating and some people attempting, but I was thinking of something way more simpler, because giveaways should be fun and not necessarily like interactive content, but we should have giveaways based like RNG. Why not? Because, for example, the giveaway that we had previously was mostly based on skills and players' ability to fly their ships and to fit the ships properly to get the best time out of their ships. And of course, this kind of left out a lot of people. So we're going to turn to RNG, and hopefully a lot of you guys will participate more, because I really do want some more engagement. And for that reason specifically, the following giveaways that we will be hosting will mostly be based on opinions and on facts that you guys can come up with. So for today's giveaway, the giveaway will be lasting for 1 week, starting today. So we will announce our giveaway winners on the next Monday, and the giveaways will mostly consist of questions like the question of the week. So just to cut to the chase, this week's question will be, what is your favorite weapon system and why? So please feel free to leave your comment in the comment section. This does not mean that you need to leave your comment just on this video. I will reiterate and repost the question every video that I do until the end of this week's giveaway. So I will be reiterating, and you guys can comment on every video and let me know which is your favorite weapon system and why. I'm not going to go into details because, well, okay, I'm going to just cheat a bit. I, for one, enjoy drones, and I enjoy drones, and this is my favorite weapon system because it allows me for a high versatility. It allows me to use a weapon system that, at least in PVE, that is not dependent on tracking speed, is not dependent on God knows what else, like in range. Range is malleable in drone range. You can achieve whatever number you want easily. It's not cap consumptioning. It's my dream weapons platform, in my opinion. Now, there's the kinks and there's the disadvantages of using drones, like you can't use them properly in PvP. You can use them in PvP, but it's best if you do group PvP, so that people won't just target your drones and then leave you pretty much without your weapons. But I'm doing PvP with drones, so I'm pretty okay with losing them and just then replenishing them and stuff like that. So this is why I enjoy, this is my favorite weapon system, this is why I enjoy that specific weapon system type. So please feel free to leave your comments below with your favorite weapon type and why, because I'm highly interested. Some people might prefer lasers, some people might prefer autocannons, some people might prefer hybrids. God knows why, and for whatever reason. So if your argument is valid, not only you can impress me with your answer, but maybe you can help the community, I don't know, reorientate towards some specific weapon system type. Like, your comment might help some other dude's impression of a specific, like for autocannons, and help him build like an idea that maybe this is better for PvP because I'm mostly oriented towards PvP, or maybe I want to fit, I don't know, missiles because I want to sit at whatever range and just shoot and fire, forget. So everything counts, and your opinions are very important to me and to the community itself. So we're going to have a prize, 2 Omega combos picked up randomly from the answers on all the videos until next Monday. So let's get down to our business, shall we? This is the Dominix. The Dominix battleship has been in EVE Online for a long time. It was one of the first battleships ever introduced, if I'm not mistaken. It's good, and it's very nice to see it in EVE Echoes, and it's implemented quite regularly. Let's look at the at the ship description. What does it do? So it's at tech level 9. We'll be reaching tech level 9 not pretty soon, but you get the idea. You can prepare, you can start training your drone skills and large drones and whatever. So large drone operation bonus per level, you get 40% drone DPS. Now, opposed to the rattlesnake, this 40% drone DPS applies to all drone types, be it small, be it medium, be it large drones. So it's not constrained to just one size type drone. So this is very good. When we will get the drone bay panel in space, like we don't need to go into the fitting screen and just swap drones around like one by one, as I mentioned in the rattlesnake video, which is kind of, it has only 2 drones that you have to swap out, but here with 5 drones is going to be a pain in the ass. So 40% drone DPS, you can just swap drones, you can have a wing of light fighters, you can have a wing of heavy fighters, you can just swap them and deal with whatever target you feel necessary at that given time. We got an additional 5% drone optimal range. Again, all this is per level on the large drone operation bonus, and 5% drone tracking speed, which is pretty helpful when considering large or at least heavy drones. Battleship command bonus per level, we get plus 10 kilometers drone control range, meaning in level 5 you get 50 kilometers extra. So you might think this ship is suitable for a long-range engagement. Well, that is true, but you can also fit it for a brawling idea. This is something that I considered because a lot of people reviewing my my rattlesnake video decided, well, you went long range, you have to swap drones. You could very well just have one type of drones and just go face tanking all that because rattlesnake allows it. We're going to try to see how good of a defense we have with the Dominix, and if we can actually use it for face tanking. So that's pretty much it. The armor resistance, by the way, this is an armor tank. You'd like to fit it with armor tanking modules. So this is the fit. As you can see, the Dominix has pretty much the same mid-slot loadout as the Rattlesnake, but it has one lower in terms of high slots and one lower in terms of low slots. On the high slots, because we went with the Brawling fit, we have 4 of these Pith C-type large torpedo launchers, and these kind of put out a decent amount of DPS, like 124 per unit, and we've got a missile range of 14 kilometers. Now, we're going to warp at 0 most of the time, so we have like a propulsion mod. We can change it for a micro warp drive, but I really sit with an afterburner, and I'll talk to you about this in a moment. We got 4 of these, and on the low slots, just to complement what I wanted to say, we've got the afterburner. Why? Because as you can see, the capacitor is stable, so all the modules, you can run them infinitely. No problem. Capacitor will be stable. Well, of course, you don't get into an elite fight and they'll start neutralizing you, but that's pretty okay considering the amount of DPS that you have. Is 1500 DPS, and this is cold damage. We're going to see how much hot damage we get once we activate the next item, the next 2 items that we can run either in parallel to get rid of a hot target, or just use them in tandem. We've got 2 copies of Federation Navy Drone Damage Amplifier, which provides us with decent drone damage bonus output, and of course activation activation time adjustment. Sorry, no, where is it? Damage bonus when activated 8.24%. So that's pretty okay. We have 2 of these. One of them is going to get mitigated, like diminished returns, but that's okay, and the damage is pretty substantial. Next up, we have a core C-type large armor repairer, and we have it repairs 1700 or close to 1800 armor hit points. And why is that? We'll get to the rig spot pretty soon, but I did not opt for a Nosferatu. I did not opt for anything, and I really wanted to get a decent amount of tanks since we're going to be brawling. And what I did was I fitted something in the rig section. And as for resistances, as you can see, we've got defense. The armor defenses are pretty okay. We will have that explosive gap because I did not fit in an anti-EM resistance on the rigs. But we have a core C-type adaptive armor hardener, which is going to help with resistances overall across the entire board. And we have a C-type reactive armor hardener, which is going to provide with a shifting resistance. I've already talked in several videos about shifting resistances. It allows you to shift your resistances based on the incoming damage. So whenever you take some specific type of incoming damage, the reactive armor hardener, it will just compensate, will reduce the resistances on other resistance types, and will provide an increase to that specific resistance type on which you get the highest damage. So it's going to try to plug your holes, sort of speaking. In terms of mid-slots, we have 5 Federation Navy Ogres, and the faction, forgot to mention, yeah, we're on the test server. Faction drones are not yet on the live, but will be soon. So I think it's pretty okay, given the fact that nobody's going to reach tech level 9 anytime soon. It's decent to have these drones showcased because it'll give you an impression of what we're about to receive on the live server. So we've got 5 of these, each one doing 218 DPS per unit. This is taking into consideration the skills and all the rigs and all the modules and blah blah blah. Total drone damage output is just a second, 1088 DPS. Is considerably lower than the Rattlesnake, but that's okay. This is acceptable. Actually, if I consider this, the missiles had around 700 DPS, and the drones were not that big, like 100, 1200, 1100 DPS, pretty much around there somewhere. So the drone damage is not that big of a deal, which is pretty okay. It's not a faction ship. It's supposed to behave like a ship of the line. And that's what you get for at least a smaller price. Now, the rest of the mid slots are very interesting because I did take into consideration some feedback that I received regarding the rattlesnake. So, indeed, I got rid of the Nosferatus. Again, you can see my capacitor is pretty much stable. I did went with a warp scrambler because you kind of need a warp scrambler when dealing with micro warp drive NPCs. By the way, this is an NPC fit. I forgot to mention. Bleh. We got a warp scrambler to deal with the MWGs of the NPCs, and we've got a stasis web. Why? Because even without the MWG, frigates might move faster than whatever the ogres can track. So I'd really want them to just be sitting nice and tightly so they can get blown up fast. And for the last item on the mid slot, we got a Haley target painter. Now, this is a very good target painter. We've got 38.75 signature radius adjustment, meaning we will be increasing the signature radius by 38 or close to 40%. Now, you could get rid of the stasis web and add another target painter, but in my opinion, this is pretty good. This is enough. If you fit more module types, more modules of the same type, you'll get diminished returns. So what is better, to have two target painters trying to buff up that signature radius, but the drones will still not be able to hit that because of the speed, or just have a web so you can keep that shit in place and allow your heavy drones to deal not less than, not say, maximum damage, but they'll probably deal 80%, 75% of the maximum damage, considering you have the target painter. So this might be very effective, like this lineup of this scrambler, web, and target painter set up on the same ship. Let's go over quickly to the rig slots. We've got, yeah, I went greedy with this one, so I had 3 capacitor control circuits, Mark III. They're keeping my capacitors stable, and of course with the afterburner fitted, I have a decent amount of speed that I can just travel around between targets. But most likely, you're going to be doing big stuff, like big hard missions with the ship, so that means warping to 0, you're just going to have a lot of ships orbiting you closely, dealing the best amount of damage that I can. Which means you won't have to travel that much. Of course, if you run into encounters or at least storylines where the ships tend to take range, like go into the 10-20 kilometers, that's going to be a bit problematic. But the afterburner will help. Definitely keep your close to your targets. You don't have to. You can actually run this infinitely, but you don't need to run infinitely if you just want. If you have energy Nosferatus on top of your head from the enemy NPCs or neutralizers, whatever. You get the idea. And for the combat rigs, we have 1 drone firepower augmenter. We have 1 drone speed augmenter. By the way, I did test. Somebody suggested maybe just using drone firepower augmenter helps. Guess what? You get less DPS for having 2 drone firepower augmenters. As compared to having 1 drone firepower augmenter and 1 drone speed augmenter. So with 2 damage rigs, I get 1010 DPS with 1 drone damage rig and 1 drone rate of fire rig. I get close to 1100 DPS. So that's like close to 100 DPS increase, and I will take that every time. Cancelling diminishing returns is actually better than trying to just stack up as many crap as possible just to get some shitty bonuses. That's just my opinion. And the last rig slot is an auxiliary nano pump. And why is that? Because, well, I went with just 1 large repper, and that's why the large repper has so much armor repair amount, because I use this, and this boosts armor repair bonus by 30%. 50%. So it's pretty good. You should definitely fit that if you're going to go active tank like Brawling fit. You could either use the armor repair reduce activation cycle time, but that's going to eat your capacitor way faster, so keep that in mind. If you want to go with double repairs and with maybe, well, I don't know, an auxiliary pump and a nanobot accelerator, you might want to fit like Nosferatu's, because your capacitor will no longer be stable. But if you fit Nosferatu's, you won't be able to have the target paint, and you won't be able to do, I don't know, you'll have to just swap drones and something. So for now, this fit, I think, is pretty ideal in what you can do with it, and basically the purpose of it is rock solid. You want to just warp to 0, blow up the hell out of everything that's close range, and just deal with, I don't know, flimsy frigates and stuff like that. So your repair should be pretty decent, and you should be able to tank anything. But we're going to put this to the test again. We're going to go in yet another Tech Level 10 mission, and stay tuned, you might learn something. As always, do continue if you want to see the result, the outcome of doing a Tech Level 10 storyline mission. As always, thank you guys for watching. A very big shout out to my channel supporters, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.